Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. In today's video we are going to be learning how to draw anime eyes, specifically anime girl eyes. These are really cute and simple, I would like to say, so let's just get started. I did start with trying to draw the side of the face, but I changed my mind. We're going to start with just the eye over here. It's going to be very rounded, if that makes sense, with a little tail at the end. There's nothing too drastic or major about this shape so far, but this is what I have. Alright, and the next part that I'm going to do here is fill in the eye shape that we just made. If you're using an iPad or some sort of digital software, just color it in. If you're doing traditional, again, just kind of color it in with a pencil. The next thing I like to do is go in with some really short, simple eyelashes. I like to leave them very pokey, if that makes sense, at the top, like very thin and sharp. So just leave a few there. You can definitely add more if you want to, but that's about the amount that I want to do. And then of course the iris, or the actual eye itself, is very big and rounded. I've noticed cute girly feminine eyes are typically very rounded and big. So again, it's going to be up to your personal style, but if you're looking for a tutorial to kind of help guide you how to draw anime eyes, I assume that's why you're here. So this is what I'm kind of working with. I like to leave like a little gap, if that makes sense too. It's usually like a highlight or a glare, like some sort of light source. So that's what that little hole is, if that's what anyone's kind of wondering about. Okay, and the next part is the bottom eyelashes and the bottom part of the eye. I like to make them, of course, smaller than the ones on the top, just because that's how it usually is anyway. But again, that's up to you. I'm just going to go in and add a few. And at the very bottom, I did leave like a curvy line at the bottom part of the eye. I would recommend that. It's just what I did for this particular set of eyes. And next we're going in with the other eye. Now I'm doing these at an angle, so it's not going to be completely the same, if that makes sense. It's going to be where it seems smaller because she's turning in this, scenario. So just keep that in mind. Perspective is going to play a part in that. But it's pretty much what we did with the same, other eye, just reversed or flipped, if that makes sense. Alright, and then for this next one, we are going to do the same thing we did with the other eye, leave that little gap right there, just kind of indicating some, light source in the room or whatever. And again, being that she's turning at an angle, this other eye is going to appear more towards the edge, towards the center of her face. And again, same thing with the bottom eyelashes, pretty much what we did over there. I did add the side of her face. That is optional. You don't have to do that. This is mainly just an eye, tutorial. And of course, as you can see in the video, I did flip the canvas. If you have the option, I highly encourage it. It really helps. Trust me, if you just keep going without flipping, you kind of don't know if it, is symmetrical, or if it looks like it makes sense, if it looks realistic. Okay, and then for the part we've all been waiting for, the eye details itself. So I went in with a very common yet simple eye style. So it's kind of like where you go towards the top of the eye, of course, with a curved line, and then you want to make like a half circle, finishing off on the other side with that line. It'll all make sense when I color it in, which I'm about to. Once you color it in, it kind of gets the point across. Again, it's very simple. You can add more detail to it, of course, as well. And I will be doing that, of course, later, but this is something I thought would be, kind of keeps it simple, and again, gets the point across. Okay, so after you've colored in with the base color that you chose, it could be pink, blue, brown, etc. I like to go in next and kind of leave like a glossy effect to the eye, like right here. It's kind of where, and there's many ways to do it, but you kind of go in to the darker part of the eye and you leave like a faint, almost like a highlight. Again, I like to think the term that best suits it is like a glossy look, kind of, you know, shows there's a reflection in the eye. Again, this is only if you really want to kind of go more detailed. To me, I wasn't even fully satisfied with it, but for the sake of the tutorial, I just kind of wanted to leave it somewhat simple, yet, you know, again, it gets the point across. Of course, the next part we're doing here is I like to darken the eye, you know, leave some shadow. And if you are using a digital software or app, you can definitely play around with the different options. Obviously, if you're on paper and pencil, traditional, you can't do this, but I kind of went in and played around with it just to see, and I thought this one looked the best. It kind of had more of a color to it, but it also, again, was very dark, and I like to kind of play around, but I just wanted to mention that as well. And mainly the rest of the video is just kind of adding some detail to the eye. We also will leave a highlight to the eye. It kind of makes it pop out more, and to me it makes it have more of a cutesy art style. So just bear with me, but right here I'm just kind of messing around with it. Alright, up next is actually one of my favorite parts. It's where we add more of the apparent bold highlights, I guess. This one, to me, it kind of looks like clouds in her eye, and I definitely had an inspiration. I think it was, I saw it somewhere on PixArt, but to me, again, they kind of look like clouds. I would just highly recommend doing like little shapes, or if you want to keep it really simple, all you have to do is make like a white circle like in the corner of her eye or something, kind of showing like again, more of a bold highlight, I guess. But for me, I wanted to go a little bit further and again kind of make it look like clouds in her eye. That little pink line here I do end up erasing because I thought it looked weird, but mainly that's what I'm doing here next. I thought I would just kind of explain what I'm doing. There's not really much I can say when it comes to actually, you know, trying to recommend like the shapes and stuff. That's why I went with like clouds, because I mean, come on, how does that not look like clouds? And to keep it really simple, the next part that I did was I just duplicated that layer and I transferred it over to the other eye. And of course you do want to kind of shrink it, make it appear as, you know, like again, she's at an angle. So you don't want to just duplicate and not mess with it. You have to kind of make it make sense. Another thing I did is I did lower the opacity of that layer. I also forgot to mention when it comes to the, you know, the highlights, the whites of the eyes, you typically want to add that on top, like at the very top of the layer. At least that's what I did, but I will leave that, you know, completely up to you guys. That's just what I did. And again, I did lower that opacity. It kind of makes it look, again, you know, kind of transparent, I guess, or like there's, again, some sort of glare of the eye. And I'm also adding a few additional details of the eye, and the rest is mainly just kind of tweaking it, messing with it, and so on and so forth. And here is the finished color, the final color I should say that I went with. It's like a purplish pink, very pretty, very cute. I just like the gradient overall, is very nice. Once again, you are welcome to choose any color that you choose. This is just simply for the tutorial, and I do believe I go in and add what would appear to be like a shadow of the eye itself, like the whites of the eyes. This is just optional, and again, for the sake of the tutorial and the video, I'm not really going to color the whole thing, like the face and everything, but I just kind of wanted to include it. It does make it appear more detailed, and like it kind of makes it pop out more. And that about does it for this tutorial. I really hope it helped you guys. Let me know what you want to see next in the comments, and I hope you guys have a great day. Thank you so much for watching.